This is the plaintiff, Anibal Rosado. He says the defendant owes his father money, paid a little of his debt off, and then just stopped. He doesn't think the guy's being fair. His father still has bills to pay, and he needs this $700 still owed, and is suing for just that. This is the defendant, William Lopez. He says he knew the plaintiff's father, who was a neighborhood loan shark. The guy died, and now his son's trying to collect interest on a loan he already paid off. The plaintiff has been really giving him a hard time, is harassing him, and he's glad to be in front of the judge today, so things get settled once and for all. He's accused of ducking out on a debt.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Please seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Anibal Rosado?
Yes.
You are suing William Lopez for $700, the balance of a loan that you say he owes your deceased father.
That's correct.
Okay, tell me what's going on.
This started back in July this year. Me and Maria were in San Juan when my father passed away.
Sorry about that. Is Maria your sister or your...
She's just the girlfriend, I guess, now.
Of who? Oh, your girlfriend. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
So we was in San Juan. My sister called me, said my father passed away. We started looking through his papers for insurance paperwork, and we came across a little paper saying that Mr. Lopez owed my father money.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. All it says is Willie?
Mm-hmm.
And then the phone number was written by Maria. Okay. So what the piece of paper said was 7/22/2013.
Right.
Willie debe, which means owes, $850.
Right.
That's it. Did
That's
you
it.
know Willie?
I did not know him, no.
How'd you find out who Willie was?
Through my father's phone records.
You found only one Willie?
Willie 161, which is where he works.
How did you know that's the guy?
I called
And so you call him and you say what?
that I'm my father's son, because I don't know this man. So I acknowledged who I was, and he knew, I guess, of me. And I told him that I was calling on the debt that I found. He said he...
How did you know that this was still out there?
Because of the date.
And your father passed away when?
Same day. He's one of the few people that saw him alive.
Okay. How did your father pass?
Heart attack.
I'm so sorry. All right, so go on.
So I told him about the debt. He acknowledged that. He told me to go to his place of work, which is on 161st Street. We went over there. First, he started with the "I'm sorry about your father. He was a good man." Then I told him, he knew why I was there. And then he gave me $150 towards the debt and said that he would try and pay once a month.
Okay, and did he?
That was the last payment he gave me.
Did you ever call him to get more payments?
Actually, we went back to Puerto Rico because I was doing business over there. So when I came back, I received a phone call saying that he wasn't going to pay me anymore because he had spoke to his lawyer and said that the debt is void because of my father's passing.
Did your father leave a will?
No.
Have you been to probate court?
No.
Okay. Can I hear your side, please?
Yes, I took a loan from his father on April 16, 2013. I borrowed $2,000 from his father. He was a neighborhood loan shark.
The father was a neighborhood loan shark?
Yes, and I had to pay back $2,500 from $2,000, and weekly payments.
Wait, when did you have to pay the $2,500 by? In how much time?
Well, 17 payments.
In 17 payments.
Yeah.
Okay. And so go on.
I used to pay him $150 a week. Sometime I would used to skip, and when I skip, I used to pay him $200 to make up the difference. And I have the paper here with me.
What is the paper? Something you wrote down or something he signed?
No, I wrote this down, but when his son came over to me, I paid him $300.
Did you show the son that paper?
Yes, he was here.
How much did you think he had borrowed?
$850 was What I saw, that's it.
No, what the note says is that $850 is owed. But when you met with him, did he tell you I borrowed $2,000 and I'm supposed to pay back $2,500?
No, all I know, like I said, I never saw this man before until I saw him.
I know that wasn't my question either. What I asked you is when you went there and you talked to him, did he tell you the circumstances he's telling me now?
No.
What did he tell you?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Are you allowed to charge 25% interest to your friend?
Yes, if it's written down, yes.
If it's written down, 25% interest.
No way, that's not fair.
Is it legal? Whether it's fair or not, can I charge you 25% interest if you win $2,000 from me?
No, that's predatory, not fair.
Okay, predatory. It sounds like Chris Hansen's going to knock at your door. What do you think?
I think you could if it's a signed written contract.
50%.
If it's a signed written contract.
75%. You give me $5,000 in 2 weeks if I give you $2,000.
I guess if it's under the jurisdiction of a lawyer.
Then in that case, I got some money to loan you after the show. Going inside the courtroom.
He just told me about the $850.
Go ahead.
I never told him that.
Were there any other debts you collected on that were owed to your dad?
No.
I showed him the paper, and I paid him $300, and his girlfriend or his wife that's next to him put it right here.
But what right there?
That's his wife or girlfriend's signature, right here.
He can barely say girlfriend. He's calling you the wife.
No, because I don't know.
What did she put?
In the bottom there, I owe $700 when his son came over. I gave him $300 right there.
Right.
And there was a balance of $400.
Oh,
And
there's according to you, there's only a balance of 400?
400, right. And the signature, that's her handwriting. Though.
Did you write that down there? Come on up.
This?
Yeah.
That's not my handwriting. I don't write my summons like that at all.
Okay. Did you write anything on that piece of paper?
No.
You got a couple problems. Oh, by the way, did you talk to a lawyer?
Huh?
Did you talk to a lawyer?
No, I never talked to a lawyer.
Did you ever tell him you did?
When he came over, that's when I told him that I owe his father $700, and I gave him $300, and we owed about.
Did he give you $300 that day?
$150.
$150. Okay, so
No.
go on. Why don't we just look at the receipt? Okay, go ahead. There is no receipt, right?
Yeah, I tried to give him a receipt. He didn't want to take it.
Oh, you know how people
yeah,
are always
I know.
rejecting receipts.
I know.
Okay, go ahead. But what?
I gave
So
him the
what?
$300. That's when he left.
Listen to my question. When did you finally tell him I'm not going to pay you anymore?
When he came on August 8th.
And what did you tell him was the
August 5th.
reason that you weren't going to pay him anymore?
Because I think his father died, and I made no agreement with him. I made an agreement, a verbal agreement with
Okay.
his father, and I don't think I should pay him because. I
Okay,
don't
we
know.
got a couple problems. Okay, number one, if it is as he says that he borrowed $2,000 from your dad, and that he was supposed to pay back $2,500 in that short an amount of time, that is what we call loan sharking, and it's
Right.
illegal, and you can't do it. And the penalty for doing it is different in different states. In your state of New York, it's you don't get to collect anything. But we don't, in other words, not you just don't get to collect the usurious part of the interest. It's you don't get to collect anything. The guy can walk off with your money, and because New York really doesn't want people loan sharking. Okay, so that's one problem. But you have a much more fundamental problem. Regardless of whether it was just originally an $800 loan, and it's like you think it is, or like he's saying it is, regardless, doesn't matter, okay? Your problem is you don't have standing to come into court and sue unless and until you go to court and you get named the executor of his estate. So you're wrong that the debt extinguishes with the death. Death doesn't extinguish a debt. You just owe it to the estate. But you are wrong that you could just come in and say, by the way, are you one of many kids, or are you an only child?
No, I have two sisters.
Exactly. Like you can't just come to court and say, pay me, when there's other heirs. That's why the courts don't allow that. They make somebody go to court and say, I'd like to be named the executor. They say, okay, who else is going to inherit under, because he left no will? Well, there's me and there's my two sisters. And then the sisters get summons into court and they say, do you have a problem with him being made the exec? Now, his estate may not warrant all that. You don't want to go through all that, and I understand it. But that's the problem. You don't have the authority to just say, I'm going to collect for, everybody, I'm going to put in my, you can't do that.
Right.
You have to actually go to court and be named the executor, which I don't know the size of his estate and if it's worth doing or not doing. But until you do that, you can't sue at all. And if in fact, Was your dad a loan shark?
No.
Okay. If in fact this was a usurious loan in particular, it's going to be very hard to collect anything anyway. Yeah.
Can I show you this paper?
What is that just a paper you wrote on, or did his dad write on it?
This is the one I made.
Okay, yeah, you talked to me already. I don't need to see the paper. Do you have anything that his dad signed or anything like that?
No, nothing. There was nothing signed, no agreement.
Okay,
no.
so based on what I just said, I cannot rule in your favor, and my verdict in this case is for the defendant. Good luck, folks.
So a judge cannot enforce any loan sharking. Not that that's what your dad was. In fact, you said he wasn't. But now you do have certain responsibilities under the law if you want to collect his debts.
Right.
What's your understanding of this ruling?
I have to become the executor of the state.
What do you plan to do from here on?
Become the executor
You're
of
going to
the
do
state.
that,
Yeah.
right? And then are you going to continue to try to collect that loan
course.
from him? And are there others outstanding as well?
No, that's the only one I know of right now.
Okay. All right. Head right around the corner there and sign your documents on the way out. All right. So you come on in here. You understand that you still owe your debt to his estate, to his dad's estate, and he can come after you for that.
Yeah.
Why do you call his dad a loan shark?
He's everybody's loan shark around the neighborhood.
Everyone's a loan shark?
His father was a loan shark for everybody. Used to lend money to.
And so would you be okay with it if he came after you and tried to collect this debt legally?
I don't think so. That he should collect anything because I don't even know him.
Why don't you get receipts when you pay? You don't get receipts?
No, I didn't get no receipt. That's how handwriting here.
All right, Harvey.
You know, if you charge more than the legal limit of interest, you get no interest when you go to court. The judge will not reduce it to the legal limit. You get zero. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.